Welcome to Master the Game. I am Juice, and today is day 20 of RPGaDay 2021. Today we're going to be covering two of the prompts for the day, and that is Foundation and Peace. So let's get started. If this is your first time here, be sure to smash that subscribe button, give us a like, and if anything in this video inspires you or you have any questions, post it in the comments below. Now today we're going to be talking about the words foundation and peace because it gave me an idea for something that I want to incorporate into my homebrew world. But before I jump into that, I want to quickly mention that over on our Patreon, we put up random roll tables every couple of weeks for our patrons. We recently just did a random magic item generation table with some prompts that you can take to inspire making magical weapons, armor, and things like that. So if something like this sounds interesting to you, be sure to head on over to Patreon, become a $1 backer, and you can have access to all of our tables that we have made. Today I want to talk about foundation and peace for a couple reasons. When I thought of foundation, I thought of like an organization. And, you know, the idea of an organization that's about peace. So with that, you would normally think that that is a good foundation. They're probably good guys if they're fighting for peace or they're trying to instill peace in the world. But what if you flip that upside down and this foundation for peace is a bunch of villains? Maybe they think they have good motives, but really they're evil. They want peace because they want order and they want people to follow the laws that they set because they're in power, or they're going to put themselves in power to instill peace around the world. Like, this could lead to a whole campaign about these guys or this group that's trying to take over just so they can control everything and be able to determine who gets what and how things are distributed and basically keep themselves in power at the top. So how would you do this? Well, I probably would do a few different things. Number one, I would probably have multiple leaders, maybe one that thinks he's the leader, but really it's a committee, and they divide up the lands or an area between each other. Maybe it's a really profitable area, and so they divide the different kingdoms up, and they say you're in charge there, and you're there, and you're there. And maybe these are all nobles that weren't in charge of these towns, but together with their alliance, they can rise up to be in charge of these towns. Maybe each person is selected for this role based on what power they do have. Like maybe one is a former general, and so he's got the respect of an army, and they still, not worship, but they still serve him or are willing to serve him if he were to raise up against the current leaders. Maybe another guy is very strong politically and has a way with words and could probably do the same kind of thing, but from a different angle over here. Maybe you have a wealthy merchant nobleman who, again, because of how much power he has over the merchants and the economy, could rise up and take control. Maybe another one is overlooking all the agriculture and things like that. Maybe another one is the top of the wizard school or the bardic college, or both. Maybe he overlooks both of those and makes sure that they're run very well and orderly, and with the people that serve him under those institutions, he's able to rise up and take power. And so you have this faction or this loose alliance that becomes a strong alliance as all these people think, look, if we were in charge, we could make the rules. And with that, they become the main villains of your story, and the party has to go and fight against them. So I think a faction or a foundation of this would be really cool. And you could even call them something like Foundation of Peace, or the faction for world peace or something. And with the idea that they're going to grow this and take over more kingdoms to serve under them and be peaceful with each other, but everything being ruled and determined by them and the rules they put in place to keep the peace, keep people subordinate to them and their families. I don't know. I think this could be really, really cool. I think it could be a really fun campaign. And I think, the tension just that could create would be pretty interesting. And would they be fair with it? Or would they, hurt their rivals, the people that oppose them? Would they run them out of town or kick them out into the slums or whatever? What would they do with that? I think that would be interesting. And maybe one of the people in it isn't even a bad guy. Maybe he just gets caught up in it because he thinks that what they're saying, maybe it's the political one that tells this other one, the general, all the good things he's going to do for him. And maybe the general kind of agrees with it because they've been in a pointless war, an unwinnable war where they're losing so many of his men or his former men. And so he's like, yeah, we need peace. And so he joins that alliance. Something like that would be really cool, I think. So, again, would love to hear your thoughts on this. This is all just something I've been thinking about for a couple of days since I've seen these words. And, I would love to hear what you think. How would you do this? Does current fiction or current stories out there, are there any that did this well or do this well? Would love to know what you think. Again, leave me a comment with your answers. This was Master the Game. I am Juice. Game on.